At the airport, I was resting my baggage tray on the railing before the X-ray machine, and she accused me of cutting into the line and then created a scene. I was in line before her and 3 other people. Finally, the airport security guys told her off.
Hello everyone, we're back with some of the most ridiculous stories from Reddit. Subscribe for more stories and remember, stay dumb.
I was paying for something at the cashier, and the barcode on the item was damaged. The cashier had to ask someone to get another one of the same item from the shelf. She was standing behind me. She blamed me for not checking when I took the item and demanded to see the manager because she was going to be late. I parked in an empty spot that she was planning to use later. She had a stand at the event, which was finishing up in an hour or so. I told her I'd just be in and out within 30 minutes, but she immediately started throwing a tantrum. At one point, she said something like, "Your kind always takes what belongs to us," which really caught me off guard. So I told her, since she wants to act like that, I'm not moving the car until she apologizes. Karen didn't apologize, but I did enjoy my takeaway in the car. This one lady held up the line for a full fucking hour while she tried to convince us to do coupon fraud for her. And after a dozen times being told no, progressively more and more firmly, she just went off and cussed me out in a giant tirade wherein she informed me that I was no longer getting the nice version of her, and from now on, I was getting the bitch, her words, not mine. She screamed for what must have been 10 minutes straight, threatened to call corporate every 10 minutes, all day, every day, asking them to fire me. And don't think I won't. I'm unemployed. I have nothing better to do. Again, her words. Finally, after she ran out of steam, she stormed out and left 2 carts worth of go-backs on the counter. I once had a customer use the whole back in my day spiel, als Fiocti of Joe, or suts, and I was so done that my response was, "Then you should have died young." My manager laughed. I had a Karen demand that my coworker be fired for refusing to load a mini fridge into her trunk. My coworker was 7 months pregnant, and when my manager tried to tell her that, she replied, "So she doesn't have to work just because she is a whore?" My manager left her fridge on the ground and told her if she came back into the store, the cops would be called for trespassers. I was an assistant manager for a thrift store. It was a busy Saturday, and I got called up to the front registers. I get up there, and here is an older Karen who is obviously pissed off. I begin my spiel, "Hi, how can I help?" and am cut off. "You charging for bags is ridiculous. There is a recent law that passed that any plastic or paper bag is 5 cents. I stare at her for a few seconds because I couldn't even register what the issue was. So she says it again. I look at her and say, "Do you think I implemented our entire company to charge for bags? You know this is a state law, right?" Again, "This is ridiculous. Ma'am, I have no control over what laws are passed. If you have an issue with it, contact your state representative." And I walked away. The following is the most effort I have ever witnessed from a Karen. She wanted to return a box of giant garbage bags, like you would use to bag up leaves, etc. The problem I had was that the box was half empty. I probably would have taken it back if she had used 1 or 2, but half the product was missing. So I told her the best I could do was some store credit. She leaves without taking the credit. Silly me. I thought we were done. She comes back later that day, box of garbage bags in hand, full now, because she emptied them all and put them back in the box. I handed her off to my boss. He dealt with her for over an hour, trying desperately to convince her that we would not be taking this item back now. At one point, she told him she was going to call the owner. My boss hands her a phone, and she used it to call her husband. Anyway, she was banned from the store. Her husband bought us pizza to apologize. Me and my little brother went to the park, and I sat and he went to go throw a tiny branch in the air. And then suddenly, this mom and her kid came, and the mom came up to us and said if we didn't get out, she was going to call the police for apparently endangering her child, even though the kid was 5 feet away, so we went.
Have a nice day and see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Stay dumb.